Hey, whoa, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? I don't know. No, you got me like, I don't know, like, look, this shirt does not fit me anymore. And yeah, I do change my hair color every 2.5 seconds, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of it, okay? How are you guys doing today? I think I'm doing well. Anyways, hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, or hi. It's hot outside, and I have 45 mulberry trees I need to replant. So here's what I do. I do things in abundance. If I purchase anything like for craft supplies, it'll be in abundance. And then I have like these little goblin piles of doom, and I never get to them. Or I do get to them many years down the road. I have a leather carving kit from 2012. I still have it. Um, I don't know. I have like this odd hoarding issue. And it's not like a hoarding issue. It's like I have kept that through many different challenges and struggles, that specifically that how do you say, like, leather carving kit for many, many years. And um yeah, and finally it like came to be very useful. Um like recently, just recently it did. And yeah. And yeah, my tan has stopped becoming red, and now it is becoming tan esque. And yeah, I did dye my hair, and it's well, actually, I stripped it. So what I did is there's this new color Oops out on the market for like porous and curly hair, and I use that. And usually I use the color Oops Extra Strength, and it's like a red box. But instead, this one was a blue box, and I was a little nervous because I did not want to use anything that is bleach based color stripping. And so our story begins. I began with stripping all the black out of my hair, but before I dyed my hair black, I had dyed it purple that was actually more like a blue green base. And so I knew underneath the black hair, which had like, it was more of an ashen black color, which for people who don't know, it's like more of a, not warm. It was a cooler black, but not very cool. It was like a neutral black. They called it black leather. And so it lifted pretty well. Like whenever I stripped my hair, it lifted really, really well. And then what was left was like green. I had like green in the tips, and the light was more how do you say, the light, I'm sorry, it was green tips, green blue tips, and then the roots were very warm, because they were like a mixture of my natural hair and that black color. And uh yeah, it was a whole process, but it was a good process. What I like to say, some people don't really understand cosmetology and shit. I'm not a trained professional. Do not listen to me. I did not go to school for it, although I was thinking about doing it, but I never did because I was very poor, and I didn't have $18,000 or like an angel sponsor or a scholarship or a loan or credit. So I couldn't go to cosmetology school whenever I wanted to as a child. But I did learn through many trials and error how to fuck with hair, how to fuck up hair, and how to restore hair. And basically, I am this like necromancer mage of hair or something. I don't know. Anyways, I understand my hair to an extent. I understand my chemistry, what I can and cannot do, and what it can and cannot take. And those acts of transformation with the dye and the process and the waiting and the going and the, it's a very it is to me an alchemical process for myself as well. It's a thing, it's a thing. And so yeah, anyways, I don't know, I'm just gonna vent. I'm not gonna try to judge myself too harshly. I've been very judgmental to myself lately, guys. I really have. I've been wanting to put out videos, and then I don't want to because like I think what happened was like whenever I like posted that Instagram reel, and everybody, I got like a lot of strange feedback, and I held my ground, but I hadn't gone to battle with like tons of bots and like stupid people in quite some time. And of course I found some camaraderie. I found a little bit of unity and people saying, yeah, of course it's art. That's my dog, sorry. Of course it's art. It's allowed to be judged. You put something out there, you go, that makes me feel a certain way. And that's what art's for. But a majority of the internet, which is not really internet, Instagram, which could have been real, could have been not real, people were like violently stupid about it. I don't know. If there's something, if there's anything, I'll accidentally make a controversy out of something. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say, oh, I really enjoy um, green. And someone will come out of the woodwork, crackhead probably, out of the woodwork to, I don't know, accept the challenge. I allegedly challenged their honor. It's like I'll say, I like the color green, and people will hear, your mother is a whore. And I'm like, I didn't say that. And they're like, oh, it's a fucking battle to the death now. And I'm like, no, I think there's a genuine misunderfucking standing. And I know I said, I know I said I liked green. I know I didn't call your mother a whore. You know what I mean? Like, people are just trying to fight me for the dumbest shit, and I'm like, fight me for something real. Fight me for something legit. Fight me, like, don't fight me over something what you think. I don't give a fuck what you think. Yeah, I don't know, it's crazy. Like, people are crazy, and I'm crazy. Like, as a whole, we are mad and insane to an extent, and we can, I could go on for hours and hours yapping about gosh, the the people in general. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I dyed my hair. And you're probably like, oh, it's gonna fall out. Guys, I don't care. I don't care. I was actually thinking about shaving it. That's why I went on the journey to just see if I could shift the colors, because I was also thinking about shaving my head. And not shaving my head like Britney Spears kind of thing. I was thinking about shaving. I do this thing where I like shave a fucking mohawk into my hair every once in a while, like a Viking fucking thing. And yeah, and I was thinking maybe I should do that. Maybe I should, you know. And then I was like, no, let's do a different way, because we haven't. That's a little more permanent. It takes a little more time. It takes 6 months to get about 6 inches of hair, and that's more of a Saturn-esque thing. I don't think that we're into that right now. So let's fiddle around. Let's see what we could do. And so I did, and I'm very grateful for this look. Under warm lights, it's very warm, and under cool lights, it's very cool. It's a very shape shifting color, and I like that about it. I was under fluorescent lighting, and it was very gray, which it should be very gray white. And I was like, "Witcha!" I was thinking, there's this like terminal montage video on YouTube, and it's I think they call him Fat Geralt or like Fat Witcher, and he enchants his sword with different sandwich mayonnaises and like ingredients. And so someone was like, "Witcher, a vampire ate me mum," and he's like garlic butter, and he's like pouring garlic butter all over his sword to go kill a vampire with it. Witcher, a fucking vampire ate me mum. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's fun. We'll see where I go from here. I'm not gonna make promises. I don't like making promises. Um, and I hate keeping promises. Promises suck. Whatever. Anyways, promises fucking suck. Yeah, I don't know. This has been kind of funky dunky. I went to the park the other day with my friend and her kids and my kids, obviously, to a child's park. I want to put that emphasis on the fact it was a children's play park. Um, Now that being said, halfway through, I noticed there was like a church group in the pavilion behind us, and I was like, "Are they fucking praying? Like, what's going on here?" And I turned to my friend who is like not Christian. And I was like, "Jesus fucking Christ, can I get a break? Is there no place sacred?" Like, I was just joking. And then out of nowhere, out of the woodwork, this old man appeared in all camo with the ball cap, and he was like, "Hi." And of course, I knew for the next 25 minutes he was going to fucking yap my ear off about Jesus fucking Christ, who I will let you know, I am a reverend. I used to work at a church. Okay. No, I'm not a reverend for a church. I used to work for a church a lot for whenever I was a kid, grew up in the South, been baptized against my will, like everything. Like I grew up in the South. I understand how your fucking cult works. I'm so sorry, but it is a fucking cult. You don't groom children with fear and the promise of eternal damnation, hell, and soul torment for eternity. You don't groom children to believe that that is reality if you don't stick a fucking deity in your body. That's a fucking cult. And you're not allowed to question it. Fuck that. No. And no, 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 no. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. So, anyways, this guy came up to me and he did the whole spiel and he's like, "Do you know about blah, blah, blah?" And I was like, "Actually, I'm a reverend." And he goes, "Oh, you're a reverend? A reverend of what? What church are you affiliated with?" And I was like, because the truth is that if you are deemed reverend, anything you do, you can put towards it being tax free. If you're a reverend in the United States, you don't have to pay taxes on certain things. You don't have to pay taxes on certain things if you are a fucking reverend in the United States, okay? Here's the truth. And I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this out loud. If you hold services or just have a group of friends over at your house twice a week and say a few words and you are literally a legal reverend, you can get a lot of money off of taxes. Okay? And so that is the biggest scam in America. The church system is the biggest scam in America, guys. Hey, I want to put you on this. You don't have to pay taxes on any money. If you just buy a property, an acre, and put a building on it and call it a church, anything that building does, no taxes. In fact, the government doesn't give a fuck where the money goes or where it comes from. You understand? So, that being said, it's a great business to be a part of. I'll tell you that much. I know the ins and outs of like getting away with shit because I used to work for a business that totally, totally took advantage of that absolute fucking golden loophole in the United States of America is that Christianity is king here and you don't have to pay taxes on anything affiliated with it. So you don't really have to be Christian. But you can file that you're all Christian, you are a reverend, you get your little reverend degree shit. It's not that hard online. And then butter. It's easy, okay? That being said, the man got mad that I told him I was a reverend. The truth is that I know all the fucking bullshit behind, like, you become a reverend, you say you do spiritual counseling, you file this under that, blah, blah, blah. They don't give a fuck where that money came from. You understand what I'm saying? So he got mad. He got really upset that I was a reverend. First of all, because women are not allowed to talk about the Lord. We're just supposed to take it up the ass, right? Whatever. It's not like we pushed you out of our vaginas, but we're supposed to take it up the ass, whatever. So, okay. So then, second, he starts getting mad because he starts asking me questions to try to make me feel inferior and insecure about where I'm going to go when I die. And I was like, I speak to lots of people around the world. I've traveled a lot and I've asked everybody questions about who they are, what they believe. I've listened to tons of folk tales. I mean, every day of my life, I'm listening to at least 5 to 6 new different types of folklore from different religious backgrounds, or different cultural backgrounds, English, Irish, Eastern. It doesn't matter where it came from. Even doing research into the branches of Catholicism and Christianity. I love learning about anything to do with the religious studies. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I love learning. Now, do I submit myself to the actual reality that this is real? Absolutely fucking not. But I love a good ingestion of just unfiltered information. I love learning. And so I do. I'm very much and of course, that pissed him off when I was like, depends on who you ask. I said, it depends on who you ask where we're going to go when we die. Are you talking to like a Buddhist monk who has been one with nirvana and has let go of this reality is real and blah, blah. Considering from your viewpoint, God created all. And so the largest illusion is that, okay, let me back this up. If God created all, I told him, if God created all, the largest illusion and lie is that we are ever separate from him or it or they or them, whatever God is, because nobody can be really sure. And that pissed him off. He goes, "Oh, actually, we can be really sure because Jesus said," and I was like, "Bitch, did you not just hear me? Do I gotta say it twice?" Half the people out here peddling Jesus Christ Jesus Christ himself would have beat with a fucking whoop. With a whoop, with a whoop. He would have whooped your ass in that fucking temple. Half the people claiming to be on God's side, half of these white devils out here claiming to be Jesus' disciples, Jesus would have beat the fuck out of you with a whip. Okay? I'm just telling you. So then he starts telling me about what Jesus said and how it doesn't matter what I just told him, I'm wrong. And, a white man really does hate whenever a woman of any color is right. Because truthfully, if we are a part of God and I'm here because God still wants me here, let's just fuck around with that idea for a second. It's an idea, it's not a fact. If we are a part of God, then we cannot be separated from God. If all is God, if God created all, including the demons in hell and the angels in heaven and the crackhead under the bridge and the dog in the park and the child being born right now and the eyelashes on your fucking face, the greatest lie they tell man is that you are ever anything other than a part of everything. That is the greatest fucking lie, the biggest scam. Because if it was really only about your soul, if it was really only about your soul being saved, it wouldn't have to do a fucking goddamn thing with money. Didn't Jesus also say, give to Caesar what is Caesar's? But you guys are what? Oh, tax free? That's a cute thing. I love how you take the red words in the Bible, which has been rewritten so many fucking times, I can't even count. Okay? It's been rewritten more times than Kim Kardashian has. I'm just going to chill out right there. It has, the Bible's been rewritten more times than Joan River has gone under the fucking knife. And that is impressive. That's impressive. Okay? Let's say that. So, all that being said, I think that Christianity is the biggest scam of the 21st century, and it is most likely brought to you by somebody who wants the masses to stay stupid, to stay under control, and to be a part of a cult where you cannot ask questions. You are not allowed to question, and if you fucking question, you're probably possessed by the devil, and we should all do something about it. How fucking convenient. How convenient it is. It's also convenient that everything and every fucking thing I've ever been taught in my entire life about Christianity, as a former Christian, as a former child who worked for the church, yeah, you guys love child labor. That's why you have the kids watching the kids in the fucking nurseries. That's why you don't fucking pay anybody out of the fucking church pocket, but the preacher gets tax-free fucking Maseratis. Suck my dick. Suck it. Suck it. Like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Yeah, it's insane. And it's so rude. It's so perverted. Modern Christianity is fucking perverted. It has been it is disgusting. And they should be ashamed of themselves going to a child's park. So then furthermore, this man continues to talk to me. And he says that he actually comes to this park every day around this time and talks to children. What? What do you mean? Like, and you give them, and then he gave us his card, which had an MSN email and his phone number, and that he was from Pennsylvania, all written on there. So then we do a little, me and my friend, we get, after we're done talking to him, I just let him talk. I shut my mouth in order to gain information out of him, and he starts yapping. Because once men get comfortable yapping and you pay enough attention to them, they will spill the beans because I don't know, their ego gets inflated because they feel so good that someone's looking at them. No, man, I'm just saying these type of people. Let's just say these type of people in general. And I've dealt with them my whole life. Bitch, I've lived in South Texas, honey. You can't get more steep, knee deep in the Lord than going to the river and getting your shit dunked. Okay, if you don't know what that means, Southern Baptist shit, all right? Praying with snakes and drowning motherfuckers in a river in the name of the Lord, okay? So he tells us a lot of information. So me and my friend go home with this information and we do research. Thank you for giving us information. So we do research. We find out that the ministry he claimed to work for, he's only a volunteer for, And he's nobody important. So why is he at this stupid fucking park grooming children and giving them his personal phone number and his personal email? Number one, that's suspicious. Let's go back to the whole fact that he tried to make me feel inferior, make me feel stupid, and now he's showing signs of possibly being a child predator. Now, mind you, he did not have any kids. Huh. Why are you giving your personal contact information to children? Under any other circumstances, do you understand what I'm saying? Under any other circumstances, that's highly. Is that illegal? I mean, are adults allowed to give their numbers out to minors at the park and say, if you need anything, call me? What? So we start getting sick to our stomach, me and my friend. We have children. And while I was at the park, my son came up to me, my youngest, and he smiled at him and he goes, "Is that one yours?" And I looked at him and I go, "Yeah, what? Can you tell? We have the same cheeks." Why does he give a fuck which one's my kid? He doesn't have kids, and you're not going to talk to my son, or I'll fucking rip your jugular out, because I don't know you. I don't give a fuck if you believe in God, or a sandwich, or a dirty sock in a corner. I don't give a fuck who you pray to. You're an adult at a park handing out your number and personal email address, not the ministries. Here's where it gets weird. Buckle up, guys. Here's where it gets crazy. He was handing out his personal information to children at the park. Personal, not the ministry he claimed to work for, because we looked up the ministry and it wasn't his number or email. In fact, he just volunteered there. And he said that he lived near the park and that he does this all the time. Now, I'm not trying to look too deep into it. I'm really not. But let's use a little bit of critical, logical thinking. What the fuck? Like, I'm just going to say, what the fuck? So then we go do research into this ministry, right? And I'm not going to get too deep into it, but there we ended up uncovering that this little ministry that he works for is tied to larger things within our community. And if you understand what I was saying earlier, is that Christianity is the largest scam in America for tax purposes, because it's free money and they can just, let's just be honest, they could launder it wherever the fuck they want. Let's fucking be real for 5 goddamn seconds, guys. They can launder the money you give them out of your pockets to do whatever the fuck they want and you have no control. So, did you just allow somebody to take money from you in the name of the Lord, and then what if they go use it and buy a hooker? Is that for God? Maybe. Was a hooker God? I don't know. The truth is, I don't know. You don't know. And we should be using critical thinking. Here's how they hit you. They approach you. They make you feel stupid. They make you feel scared about things they are uncertain of. They don't really know if Jesus even existed or if God's even real. And they certainly don't fucking know what happens after you die. Certainly. They don't know. And so they scare you. They fucking scare you. And they were scaring these kids. But all I could think is that the more time he spends talking to me, the less time he is hunting a child. What a world to live in. What a fucking world to bring a child into. So, of course, after all this stuff, I had to have a real conversation with my kids. I was like, if a man ever approaches you and tries to talk to you about Jesus or Christ, you run away. You scream and you run away. Okay, you come get me. You do not talk to them. You do not follow them to his van. You know what I mean? You do not go to his church. You do not meet him up at his house for his Sunday Bible school at a house. You don't do that. That's fucking weird. That is not it. You know, Christ was like, sell everything and follow me. He didn't say hoard money, you goddamn dragon. He didn't say hoard gold. He didn't say, like, and that's what pisses me off. Because here's the thing. I love Christ as a person. I love the story of Christ. Even though I was like, oh, maybe he's real, maybe he's not. Maybe he's real, maybe he's not. Okay? I also love the story of Robin Hood, asshole. Okay? And, okay? Okay, I love Totoro. I love Ra. I love Bastet. I mean, golly, I love Dracula. I love Shadow from the Sonic Adventure Shadow 2, the Sonic Adventure Battle 2 game. I love his story. I also love Jesus' story, okay? Because they're stories that are supposed to help us find something in ourselves. But it's not a story that you guys are supposed to systematically rape and systematically inject into people to scare them. You know, viewer beware, you're in for a scare when you go to fucking church and they reach deep into your wallets and suck that out with guilt. Because everybody's done something you're a little bit ashamed of, you know? I mean, let's be honest. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You're a human. You're supposed to. If you're not doing something a little shameful, I mean, even the beginning stories is we got to put clothes on. We should be ashamed of our bodies. It's not okay to be naked. What? I'm just trying to say, like, all this being said, this dude, like, all this being said, after we listened to him, I started analyzing, I started using my critical thinking. And of course he made me feel insecure about, like, I'm sitting in a park with my kids and this guy's like talking to me. Go away. I'm supposed to be watching my children. I should not be watching this old ass fucking decrepit man. I should be watching my child. Does he have a partner? Is he working with someone while he's talking to me? He goes to snatch a baby? What is this? You know what I mean? It's very concerning. That's very fucking concerning. And that is, it's a whole operation, guys. And not to sound like a bitch, but I will risk being a fucking bitch if it means telling the truth. We did research into the ministry that he claimed to be part of, and they don't even have him. There was pictures of him as a volunteer doing volunteer work, but he was nobody important. And this was his day off. So why is he outside grooming children at a park? And if it was for Jesus, and like he said, nothing you do on earth is going to get you any closer to God. You could pretend to be a good person. You could do outreach stuff. It doesn't matter. What matters is if you say this specific word and then invite God to live inside your body. That's what matters. Then you could skip death and live forever. Isn't that great? That's what he told me. I was like, you don't know that. And you're a fool if you think you do. Just as I am a fool, for I don't know either. But it would be more foolish if I blindly followed you. Would it not? Because last time I checked, you weren't Jesus. And last time I checked, according to the lore, he would beat the shit out of you with a whip. In front of God and everybody. He would flip your fucking tables and throw your pigeons in the fucking in the toilet. He would throw your pigeons in the toilet. He would throw your pigeons in the toilet. I just, guys, come on, let's use some critical thinking. Now, the story of Jesus is beautiful, and believing in Jesus, that's great. Okay, frantically saying Hail Marys because you have OCD, a religious OCD, which has been studied, and it's a thing. You know, I understand religious OCD. I used to pray all the time. I would do one thing wrong and I would just pray and pray and pray. And like, I was like so scared and freaked out. Like, I have OCD, but religious OCD, that's a different variant of fuckery. I mean, I've seen people, I've seen people beat the shit out of someone because they asked the church too many questions. And what they said, oh, there's a demon in that child. We'll have to take him in the back of the church and waterboard them and scream at them and pray for hours and beat the shit out of them until it leaves, until they deem that the demon has left. For asking questions. You tell me, let's use some critical thinking. What do you think that is? What does that look like? What does that look like? What does that look like to you? What does that look like to you? What does that look like to you? Now, let's also use some critical thinking. Now that I'm done with that story, and of course, you should also think like, well, what if I lied to you just now? Yeah, that's a possibility. I'm telling you, this is what fucking happened to me yesterday. Why was that man at the park handing out his personal email if he worked with the ministry? Wouldn't you think that he would give the ministry's number and they could reroute them to a counselor within the ministry? Why was he giving children his personal email and his personal cell phone? Let's just think for a second, guys. That's all I'm asking. You do not have to make any decision out of reaction. Unless it's like there's a fucking you're about to get into a car wreck. You can't be like, all right, now let's Sherlock Holmes it. There's a car in front of me. It slammed on its brakes. I should probably slam on my brakes. And by the time you've had that thought, you're like a pancake. Okay, like Final Destination 2. Kind of is that the one? Yeah, the log truck. Let's just think for a second. But like, you don't have to take too long. You know what I mean? But let's have a thought, just one. And even if that thought is, what the fuck? You're allowed to have that thought. You're not a bad person. And they have brainwashed you to think you're a bad person for asking questions. No, it is natural mammalian. You're a mammal, bitch. Even if you got a little bit of whatever else in you, you're still a bunch mammal. And it's natural for you to be curious. So yeah, say, what the fuck? That's a perfectly normal, that's a normal reaction. And then, of course, the response would be, You know what I mean? The response would also be, what the fuck? Excuse me, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, why are you grooming children? That's a little weird. But, what do I know? The truth is, I don't know. The truth is, until I truly masquerade as one of them, work at the ministry myself, volunteer my time, and infiltrate and do some research and start praise and worshiping, and then actually get in there, boots on the ground, elbow deep, and praise and worship, I won't really know what goes on, but I could if I wanted to, because they are so, like, you know what I mean? But I'm not an investigative journalist. I should be one. But I'll probably get fucking axed because I'm too I'm too nosy. And I'm too good. I'm too good at what I do. And so I should probably not do that. I'm very intuitive about things, and I'm usually right. That being said, why was he at the park giving out his number and email to children? And I can't report him to the police because guess what? And like Flynn, they're all kind of these big organizations, these ministries. Oh, I know Dale. That wasn't his name, but you know what I mean? I know Dale. He's a good man. He would not do that. It's fine. Just let him hand his number out to children. I mean, come on. Like, there's so much shit that happens in a small town. That'll never really actually, like, go anywhere important. And so it's up to the individual. It's up to the individual parents to be mindful. You go to the park, hey, it's not a safe place. You have a gathering of kids. Guess what? There's going to be a fucking fox waiting to get into the hen house. You guys got to be smart. Use your logical thinking. Even if you go to a church and you are Christian high, that's great. I'm happy you're here on this channel. Whatever. That's cool. Please do not just trust your kids, the people that work at the church. I used to work at a church, and there was a guy that was offering liquor to us as 13-year-olds and to go over to his apartment all the time in the kids' little praise and worship group. He was one of the chaperones. So please feel free to remain suspicious and remain curious and to ask questions or to think yourself. Write it down in your journal and just, if you have a thought, don't you, oh God, forgive me for thinking like that. God, forgive me. God knows your heart. God, forgive me for thinking that. No, babe. Honey, I'm going to give you a little coupon. Here you go. Take it. Go ahead, take it. Okay. It is a coupon that allows you to fucking ask questions. Okay. As a parent, you should be asking questions and you should be curious as to what's going on here. Even if you are a part of your church, you know what? Fuck it. If you're a Christian, you're on my channel. Hi, what's up? Start becoming more involved with your church. God doesn't live in a church. God is everywhere. God's that ring light. God's this phone. God's the coffee. My shit, my fart. Okay. And you cannot be parted from this source. And yeah, I learned that from the Bhagavad Gita. That was conveniently located in a hotel room drawer. I learned that from the Bhagavad Gita. So you may learn more about different religions and different books and holy things by just asking questions. And it's good to have information. And if you start questioning your own God, just remember this one truth. We are all connected in some way, shape, or form. Okay? the electricity and the air and the wires and the ground and the Wi-Fi. It's all part of something. So yeah, remain curious, ask questions, and don't be ashamed to feel a little concerned. I mean, if you're a mother, you're a mother. If you're a father, you're a father. Don't let them take your critical thinking. And if that makes me an enemy, to who? To enemy to who? Because, like I said before, like, hey, honey, I know you guys are getting tax write-offs left and right, and you guys not being honest with the public about that is probably why you want to fucking brainwash them first to become complicit, compliant, and submissive to your agendas, and that's fine. I can't do anything about it. I'm nobody. I'm just some dumb bitch. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna march to Washington because I know that you guys are fucking laundering money. I don't care. Like, that's y'all. You're gonna, like, eat shit one day. Don't worry, because we are all still a part of God. And you guys constantly, like, acting like that. It's almost like you're trying to remove yourself from being a part of, like, everything. And the truth is, you can't. Like, you can't. Like, you really can't, babe. Like, you can't. I mean, you could try. It's cool. Whatever. It's none of my business what you do. But yeah, like what I'm saying, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. I'm no one. But I'm just saying from my personal experiences, like as witnessing, like as a witness, y'all are fucking suspicious. Don't be suspicious. No, y'all are fucking suspicious. And yes, please feel free to ask questions. Okay, from one fucking weirdo to the next. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.